Okay, I think we're live. Here's what we'll do though. There we go. All right, we're live. What did you just say?
We have to get a new intro.
A new intro?
Yeah.
We got one coming.
Sam.
We got one coming, I think. But I don't know. That one's good. I like it.
You jam to it.
Hey guys, everybody, welcome. Welcome to the what is it? What's happening in Central Oregon? Yeah. A bi-weekly kind of live stream where we just kind of talk about development news, lifestyle, Bend lifestyle, and of course recreation stuff as well. There's three things, right? Real estate / development, Bend lifestyle, and then recreation. So we'll have a little bit to touch on that
all
today
the good
too.
Things.
All the good things. That's why people live here in Bend, Oregon, and so that's what we want to talk about. All right, so welcome everybody. Let me see and go over here to my comment section. No, my banners. Boom, there we go. Little ticker at the bottom. Welcome to the live stream. Be sure to leave your comments in the chat section. We'd love to hear from you guys. Whether you're following us on YouTube or on Facebook, we want to hear from you. So feel free to leave your comments in the chat, questions. First thing we always do is, do you know what it is? What do we do?
Where are you watching from?
Yes.
It's not my first rodeo.
Okay, well, tell all the people. Tell all the people.
Yeah, we want to know where you are watching from, where you're at. If you're thinking about moving, maybe you're watching from Germany. I don't know. We would love to know. We want to know where you're at.
Mm-hmm. This is actually an interesting time for us to do these, and maybe we'll change it in the future. But I would assume and I would guess that this is, if you were watching from overseas, that it would be a better time.
Oh,
more
probably.
like evening instead of the middle of the day when people are working. Yeah. We do these live streams at the worst time.
It's when we're working.
It's when we're working. All right. Okay. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Let us know where you're watching from. And also don't forget to share this with a friend. If you, know somebody who lives here locally and they're thinking about moving or buying or selling or whatever, or if
maybe we're talking about a development that's going right in their backyard.
Exactly.
And we would like them to know.
Yep. Share this with your friends. And that would be awesome. Okay. So, also, if you do have questions, be sure to throw them in the comment section below, because usually at the end, we try to get to some sort of a Q&A session. We'll do that at the very end of this live stream. So if you have questions, throw them down in there. All right.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. What are we talking about today? You ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. First thing we're going to talk about today, and it's kind of the main highlight of this whole particular episode, is there is a new set of regulations that the state is bestowing upon about a dozen cities here in Oregon, and it's all aimed at curbing greenhouse gases, emissions, stuff like that. And it's called the climate CFEC, climate friendly and equitable communities. So basically, there's a set of rules from the state of Oregon. Let's see. The rules aim to change how cities are built. Building differently can reduce greenhouse gas emissions as one way to address climate change. So I'll put this up on the screen real quick. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah. So I understand that they're trying to make things more walkable, trying to make it more density wise, you're trying to get more community involvement, be able to walk to a market, those kind of things, instead of having to drive to market, which is totally a great idea.
Well, but
I feel like the number one thing that's always asked when people are home searching is they don't want to be that close to their neighbors or those type of things.
Well, the reality is what they're trying to do here is, and this is directly from the City of Bend's website, and there's another clip here. I'll check on this in a second. I'll click on that in a second. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to basically change zoning in cities to where instead of having a neighborhood over here and kind of a retail section over here and kind of a commercial zone or industrial use over there where people have to drive, they're trying to just build everything in sort of a very highly mixed use area, going up instead of out, mixing everything together so that you basically go from your house, your dwelling. I'm not gonna say house because it's not big on houses, it's big on condos and high rises and stuff like that. You can basically go from there down to the market, over to the store, and get around, go to your job, and go to the school, and go to everything you need to do, all within an area where you can walk or ride a bike. Again, to your point, what people want when they move to Central Oregon is they want to be, on a single family house. They want to be, have some elbow room. And so it's not exactly what the market wants.
It's more of an urban living type.
Yeah, it's definitely urban living. And that's what the state is pushing. So they're pushing that upon a lot of the communities, a lot of the larger communities in Oregon. And so the city of Bend is actually looking into this and how to tackle this,
how to blend it into their building requirements.
Exactly. How to blend it into their building requirements. So they've got a couple of different things. Let's go back over here.
I would like to know those climate friendly areas.
So there are climate friendly areas right here. And so these are just the different areas that they have identified as potential areas to kind of start doing this. And it's a little bit hard to see here. But obviously, all along the main corridor right here, this is obviously all along 3rd Street, Highway 97. There also is an area over here, which this is kind of the downtown area right in here, like the old downtown area. And then even over here, so this is Greenwood and like 27th. This is where the old Costco is. This is Pilot Butte. This kind of area is another area where
so they're going to try to make it more zoned so you can put more density in there. So you could do like condos above coffee shop or a bookstore, all of those wonderful ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see.
Leave a comment down below if you want a condo. I would like to know your opinions on condos. It is not a high thing that people ask us for in search parameters. It's not something that condo living is really interesting to me, because where are you going to put your kayak when you live in a condo? I mean, these are things that you got to figure out. I mean, I've driven by some of the condos by the river and people have their kayak out on their balcony.
Yeah.
And all I can think about is, how did you get that kayak or paddleboard through the elevator or the stairwell? Like, how many scratches, like 10 feet up, like on the walls as they're like clink, clink, trying to get there.
Whoops.
Anyways.
No. I mean,
those are the things that run through my mind.
That's a good point. And that's stuff that we always talk about is literally 95, maybe 90, maybe 100% of our clients are always like, yeah, I want some elbow room. I don't want to be in a city. I'm moving from a city. I'm leaving a city to come to Bend to be more spread out. Okay. So we've actually heard some different presentations. I've known this is coming on for a long time. I'm part of the, our local real estate association's government affairs committee. So we've known this has been coming down, and this is still a long process. This is something that they're probably not going to change these codes and change these things until like, I think it's 2020. I'll see if I have it in my notes here. 2025 is when they will kind of, the state's going to send their next requirements for the next phase of growth in these particular areas. So a little bit long, drawn out, but they're looking at all of these different areas here. If you can see on this screen, there's green, purple, all these different colors right in here, where they want to basically create these equitable areas.
So maybe
I don't think that I can. I can't really do that the way this is set up here.
Okay.
But again, they're looking at these certain areas. This is something that's coming one way or the other. That's the other thing that we've kind of given up on, as far as to fight this. It's not gonna happen. The state's doing this. It's something that's going to happen. Yes, density would be great, to avoid encroaching on, more rural areas. However, again, like we talked about, there has to be a market for that. And there doesn't necessarily seem to be a market for it. I don't have many people ever saying, hey, I really want to live in a condo in Bend. Townhouse is one thing, but
people to make single-story houses.
Yes.
For that market, and that's what I find a high demand in.
Yeah, it's a mix of residential, multifamily, and commercial. Oh, yeah. So the end of 2026 is where they're going to determine to see where the new climate-friendly areas will be. So we've got a few more years on this, but something I wanted to bring attention to, because this has been coming down the pike for a little while, and what it's doing is essentially, let me go back to my screen here. It leads into our next set of communities that we're going to talk about. One of them's called, let's see, what is it called down there again? You saw it. What is it called?
This one is the platform.
The platform. Cool. So let's talk about the platform for a second. Platform is 200 new units coming to the old Les Schwab Center, or the old Les Schwab area
on Franklin.
So go for it.
Yeah. So it's just a new high-rise commercial and residential building that's coming in there. This one has 200, right? 200 or 199 apartments, and then it will have a residential.
This one's put on by.
Yeah. Is this the same one that I was reading earlier?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Or is this just an old article?
Could be.
Okay.
People don't know what article it is because we haven't put it on the screen. There we go.
So, I mean, they're planning to redevelop that whole area down there. I mean, they've been saying it forever.
Yeah.
They're going to have the walk bridge that's going to go over Hawthorne, which will connect downtown to 3rd Street, kind of. So it would be easy to walk over the bypass.
Let's see. Hawthorne's right here.
Yeah.
There's going to be a walking bridge that's going to go over Hawthorne right here. And then this is the old Les Schwab area right here. I mean, this is a pretty big area. 200 units are coming right here. And also,
they're keeping the old Les Schwab building here to make that into a commercial space.
Oh, this will be commercial.
Yeah.
Area. Oh, very cool. This area right here is also going to be another bunch of units put on by Brooks Resources. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That one I haven't heard any recent news on for a while, but this whole area here is slated for redevelopment as well. So we've got the train tracks right here. We've got a big development. This is going to be 200 units right here. And they're all going to be apartments.
They're all going to be apartments, which, I don't know about you, but I don't really like sleeping next to a train track. But I mean, with some new building designs, I'm sure they can make it, soundproof, but the train tracks are right there. And so maybe they'll make the parking lot more this way on this west side, and maybe the buildings will be closer, but I don't know. To me, it just seems very...
I actually just got that it's called the platform. It makes sense. It's like the platform for the trains. That's how it works.
Is that what's going on?
That's okay. Well, that's just what it's called.
Yeah.
I like that it's called that. It makes sense.
With this housing unit 2, which goes into the next topic, they also got tax exempt.
Here's actually what's really interesting is I had heard about this particular project. By the way, the name of the company that's doing this is Project. It's actually kind of a cool thing. So holler out there if you guys are watching this from Project. You guys do great stuff. I mean, they build
fabulous things.
They built the Grove and the condos that are over there in Northwest Crossing. What is it also? They did Base Camp that's right down there off of Colorado.
It's always beautiful.
Always beautiful, great stuff. I have no doubt that they're going to build a really great product here. However, they did actually, it's funny because they did, let me go over here up to this one. There's a little part right here where they talk about, I knew about this this project a year ago. We haven't talked about it because it got kind of quiet. However, just recently, despite the ambitious plans to transform the 3.5-acre property into 199 housing units, the development was deemed financially unviable earlier this year. A city contracted financial analysis said. So this is interesting because the interest rates have made it really hard, and a lot of other things. Obviously, inflation, everything is making everything really hard right now, including the interest rates. So to make it viable, Bend City's council approved a 10-year tax exemption for only the residential portion. That's why this one's less than the other one. Oh, no, this one isn't less than the other one. Anyway, of the Project Wednesday as part of the city's multi-unit property tax exemption program, which aims to incentivize multi-family housing development in certain parts of the city. Okay, this is interesting. So, because again, we talked about the climate-friendly and equitable communities, they're pushing density, but like we talked about, we don't know anybody that wants density. I mean, I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure you're probably watching, but most people don't want to live in condos. And so in order to make developers incentivized to build these condos, they're offering tax incentives. So this is actually, I don't know that this directly is a part of the CFEC, but it's a good little carrot for builders. And so it's not a carrot that is equal and open to everybody. In fact, there's multiple tax districts that overlap in this and in the next one that we're talking about, that overlap, and all of the different kinds of tax districts have to approve it. So the city has to approve it. The Parks and Rec department has to approve it. The school zones, the school district has to approve it. I think there's like 5 different things that have to approve it. Let me see if it's in here.
Actually, it said that in there that not. I thought it said in there that there was only.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, certain.
So it's normally other taxing districts. So it says Ben Lapine School District, including Deschutes County, Ben Lapine School District, Ben Park and Rec District, will receive tax revenue, but the city's taxes mean they wouldn't collect as much. Oh, that's 3. There's 5. Maybe it's in the next article. The next article is another thing that we see that is really, really interesting. And because this is the same thing happened over here with the jackstraw. So the jackstraw here, let me go over here to our things. Where's the jackstraw located there, love?
Jackstraw is off of. Why'd you have to ask me? You just totally made me forget that.
Jackstraw's right over here.
Colorado? No.
Yeah, this is right here.
Yeah.
They're actually moving.
Arizona. One over.
You can see dirt there. Move. This must be a new Google map. This is pretty good.
Yeah.
This is a massive area right here. They're actually going up with it. There's 2-3 stories on there already. Oh yeah, the other one, by the way, it's going to be 5 stories.
This one?
The other one. No, the other one we were just talking about.
Oh, platform?
The platform is going to be 5 stories.
5 stories.
Isn't that crazy? That's like one of the tallest buildings.
Oh yeah, but that's what I was just going to say. The tallest building.
Yeah, it's about that.
Wow.
So it's going to be one of the tallest buildings in Bend. So anyway, right here, we've got the jackstraw right here. It's just this area here. It's going to have 300 units coming soon. And what's interesting about this is whereas the other platform hasn't even started yet. Let's go back to us for a second. Where the platform hasn't even started yet, they already got their tax exemption. Jackstraw is started. They are 2 floors in on building this thing. And they started it knowing that it wasn't necessarily going to be financially viable and that they were going to need a tax exemption, a property tax exemption. So they have also filed for a property tax exemption. And that is where kind of this story comes in. They seek $10 million in a tax break to make their development viable. So it's interesting. They just went ahead and went for it anyway, which, I mean, kudos to them. Kudos to them for having the gall to go ahead and jump into a project this big without knowing if it was necessarily going to be viable. So they're seeking a 10-year property tax break.
For 10 years.
Yeah. And basically that would equate to about $10 million over these 10 years. So in order to do this, here's what we were talking about before. They need the approval of all the overlapping tax districts. And so again, the city is trying to incentivize housing because obviously we have a big issue with housing here. And so they're kind of all in favor for it. They've already actually approved this on the city's part, but it must also be approved from, let's see. So it says right here.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me go. Boom, right here.
The school district, City of Bend, Park and Recreation, Deschutes Library.
Yeah. Deschutes County, School District, City of Bend, Parks and Rec, and the Deschutes Public Library. All of those things, all of those different tax jurisdictions basically have to approve it. So it says down here, Set up. Oh yeah. So the Park Districts Board unanimously approved this exemption on December 5th. So the city of Bend's behind it. I'm sure the county's probably behind it. I don't know that it's been completely approved overall, but it looks like that's another thing that's going to happen.
It's gonna be LEED certified.
Yeah. Yep. That's the other thing, that the project must offer at least 3 public benefits to outweigh the break. So, basically it's going to be a green building. It's going to have
focused.
It's going to be pedestrian bicycle focused. It's going to have in-home child care units. So there'll be childcare there. There's a lot of different things that this tax exemption is required.
State license up to 20 children.
Yeah. Interesting, huh? I mean, it's already in a really dense area. It's already in a very urban type environment where this particular thing is located. So I think, I don't know. I mean, I think it's good. It's something good. Obviously, it is something that Bend sorely needs. It's a little bit of
what part does Bend need? Just more housing?
Just more housing.
My concern is that what is the rent projection for these places? Like, this area is the most sought after area. Like, this is the hub of Bend, like, as far as tourists, as far as, where you go to hang out and stuff like that. This is just, everything down there is, multi-million dollars and stuff. So I'm sitting here going, how much is the rent going to be for these? It would be really nice to understand what they're considering affordable for these areas, because even with the Franklin apartments, I could see those being a little bit less, but also the walkability and all of that kind of stuff. Like, I'm interested to see those projections.
Yeah. It's obviously going to be market rate in one way or the other, because that's just how it goes. But I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, market rate for Bend is
pretty expensive.
It's very expensive.
No, I mean, I think that the condos there at Jack Straw are probably not going to be low income housing.
No. But then you have childcare going on there and stuff like that. So you're going to have to drive into that to use that kind of stuff.
Well, I think that the people living there are going to use it. So they don't remember the CFEC.
But how many kids do you think are going to be living in condos?
That's, again, what's going to happen is the market is inevitably going to dictate what these things are going to sell for. That's how real estate works.
They're not going to sell, though.
A lot of people think
keeping them.
A lot of people think that we determine how much things go for. But instead, it's actually the market.
Oh, I'm so cheap, man. Everything would be $3.99 if I got it.
I like that. All right, next up, we're going to talk a long-standing City of Bend property is actually finally now up for sale. So this is Juniper Ridge. If you're unfamiliar with where Juniper Ridge is, let me swing over here. Juniper Ridge is northeast of town. Oh, hang on, over here. Here we go. Northeast of town. This is where Les Schwab is currently located, the Les Schwab headquarters. Basically up here, we're north of town. Hang on. See? North of town. Up in this area over here.
There's Les Schwab.
This is Les Schwab right here. This is Cooley Road. Les Schwab. This is Juniper Ridge, this area up over here. There's actually 200 acres the City of Bend has. And the City of Bend has recently, just this week, released 100 acres of it for sale. So 25 is one parcel and 75 is the other parcel. So this is the area up here. Yes, what?
I thought it was more this up here.
Well, yeah, this is all city owned.
Oh.
This is all city owned. And they're actually starting to understand that, look, I mean, despite our housing crisis, there is actually, a problem with commercial, and there's not enough of anything. I mean, everything is tapped out right now. So, all right, let's go back over here. Boom. Ben puts parcel at Juniper Ridge and Larkspur neighborhood up for sale. I don't know where the Larkspur neighborhood chunk is. We actually looked for it. I couldn't really find it. So these two parcels, one's 20 acres, one's 75. That's clarified that. The city has a total of 200 acres at Juniper Ridge. Now, I'm actually involved with a group that was looking to develop, an ice hockey rink, actually. And that was one of the areas that we were looking at. However, there's a ton of lava rock. In fact, you can see that they're blasting out a bunch of rock right in here. It looks like it's hard to tell what that is, but there's a ton of lava rock up here. This is all very, very rocky. So I think that probably is one of the reasons why we haven't seen development there before. So it'll be interesting to see now whether the price, what the city's offering it for, the price, and if that's still something that makes it, financially viable for companies to come in and develop there. But that's an interesting one. Hopefully that'll bring in some really cool commercial development, stuff like that. And when I say that, I think it's more industrial, so we get some industrial stuff in there.
You can kind of see what's going on there.
Yeah, that would be really, really great. All right, let's move on from that. Next thing we just want to talk about. Yay!
It says end stream.
So when I click it, it will end. Yay! Neff and Purcell intersection.
Oh, hallelujah!
That took forever, didn't it?
It took forever, and it's just the same.
I thought for some reason, we might have even said it on an episode before. I thought it was going to be a roundabout.
I did too. I was completely convinced, and it made sense for it to be a roundabout.
I mean, I didn't. Yeah,
it does.
They put roundabouts everywhere. Anytime there's an intersection or there's construction going on an intersection, they put a roundabout in. But with this one, it's still a stoplight.
Yeah,
I'm kind of confused. What happened there?
They widen it, and then there was a lot of issues that went on with that one. Like a lot of, all of the.
Oh yeah. So what happened was, so here's why it took so long.
Okay.
Here's why it took so long. They were going to go in there. They were going to clean up the intersection because it's kind of at the bottom of a hill, which maybe it wasn't a good idea to put a roundabout. That'd have been weird because you come down off the Neff,
especially if it got icy.
Yeah, you'd have just spun right out. But apparently, when they got in there. And if you're from here, you probably know if you've seen the article. They got into the utilities, and I guess a lot. Maybe
it was the utilities. Yeah,
it was the utility. I don't know if anybody knows this, but the utilities in general, sewer, water, if electrical's underground, utilities in general follow along streets. I know it's like obvious, but they do. They're actually usually run underneath the streets. So when you see people doing road work and they're digging out this big trench in the middle of the road, that's because the sewer is actually under the road. All of the utilities basically follow the same pathways as streets.
Makes sense.
It does make sense, but it sucks for traffic when you have to get into it.
Yeah.
So anyway, they get down there and they were blowing up the street to redo this intersection. And basically all the utilities, for whatever reason, over the 100 of years that we've been here in Central Oregon, it was spaghetti. It was just spaghetti soup underneath there. There's just stuff growing absolutely everywhere. And so it took them an incredibly long time, almost a year, I'd say. It was like 9 months, I think, maybe 10 or 11 months to finish the Neff and Purcell roundabout. I'm really excited.
It is open. So 27th, all of those roads that have been so congested because Neff has been closed.
Yeah, you're right. 27th.
And also, this has been really interesting. I was actually showing property, a duplex on Neff. I'm not Neff. What's the other one that goes across? Purcell. And I was like, man, this is just a great house. It's great duplex. It's super clean. It's so quiet. And I literally stopped and I was like, why is it so quiet? And I remembered it's because Purcell and Neff was closed.
Yeah.
So all of those homes, like the perception, I was like, oh, wait, this is a very busy thoroughfare.
Yeah.
Like once this opens up normally, but it's open. And it's, I drove through it the other day. It's streamlined.
Let's see where are we at here. I'm going to go over to here. It's this one right there. This guy. Look, they're working on it. You could tell. Like, oh yeah, look at that. They were working on it big time.
So looks like it was going to be a roundabout.
Look how far Purcell. We haven't gone this way yet, but look how far back they cut up Purcell.
Oh, look at both ways.
Both ways, yeah. Way over here, way over there. That's probably part of that utility stuff that they had to take care of. But also, it's another interesting thing is this Purcell. Look at this. They've even got this. This is almost done too. And they're going to be able to punch Purcell through right here, which would be awesome.
We should look up on
what's going to happen with all this.
This is probably going to be developed. It has to be.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to punch over to the Purcell Landing townhouses, which is going to be a nice little cut through for a lot of people.
Yeah, we used to go through this.
If you know the cut through to Costco.
The Costco cut through to get to the north side of Costco. So yeah, Purcell, you'd have to kind of meander through all this over here to get back onto Purcell. But otherwise, yeah, if you can get through here, this is going to be really great. I'm excited about that. So Purcell and Neff are now open. Okay, let's see. Last couple things I want to talk about. Last thing I do want to talk about. Recreational news. So a friend retires. Don Horton. So Don Horton is the executive director of the of Bend Parks and Rec. So he's actually been there for, it's been 20 years.
21 years, I think it said.
Wow. Oh, just go to the story, John. It's right there. Boop and boop. Boom. Yeah, 21 years. Retire in 2024.
He's responsible for all the cool things that are in Bend.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah. Not everything, but I mean just all the cool things that everybody partakes for. And
yeah, so much stuff. It's funny because I actually knew him right when he moved to Bend, and we haven't talked in years and years, but we were friends right in the very beginning when he first moved here. His kid actually played hockey in our hockey program. So I actually was able to coach him for a number of years and knew Don, and he moved from Texas, and he always wanted to live in a mountain town. And then, and actually was able to have the opportunity to work here, which was interesting because I skimmed through this article. The board has to approve the next executive director. And he's recommending that it go to his number 2 person in charge, I think.
Healy, I think it was. It's Healy is her last name. I know that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it looks like it could go to Michelle
Healy,
Healy, the current deputy executive director, to succeed him. However, when he was hired, it was a national search. It was a national campaign. And they had a number of candidates, a number of finalists, and he actually won out and became the executive director. So congratulations, Don. Fantastic career. Yeah, thank you for all of the wonderful things that you brought to Bend.
Yeah, I mean, just to say a few.
Okay, go ahead.
The safe water passage.
Yep.
Which is still so cool. I will probably never use it, but
well, we've gone
through
we've gone through that part of it,
but I will never probably do the surfing part. I mean, that's just, I can't still not believe people surf in the middle of winter in wetsuits. Riley Ranch.
Huge.
There was another Larkspur, which is a phenomenal building.
Yep.
That building is gorgeous, and it is packed. It seems like.
Yep.
And then I'm forgetting another one. The ice rink. How am I forgetting the ice rink?
I mean, you know.
And there was a list. Alpenglow Park, which that is another phenomenal park. It just goes on and on.
Not only that, but the Deschutes River Trail and how much it's expanded,
connecting
and how much it's
all of that
connected and covered. And there's so much that they've been able to do here. Actually, one of his goals was that every community within Bend, literally every neighborhood had a park that was within.
I mean, we joke about that all the time.
And it's funny, I didn't know that was one of his goals, but it is. And they did it. I mean, I think they did
that one off.
I don't know that he's quite satisfied, but I mean, gosh, I think that every neighborhood.
You could throw a rock and hit a park.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, we can throw a rock literally out our studio and hit a park. Yeah.
So anyway, congratulations to him. He's looking to retire. I mean, he'll still be around for another year and a half, but yeah. And then he'll probably be.
He's moving to New Mexico.
Huh? Yeah, it's warm there.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else? I think that's all we have today.
Yeah.
Which is good because we're 30 minutes in.
Well,
hey,
hot dang.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys understood this news broadcast was brought to you by us John Shannon at the Kromm Real Estate Team. If you were looking, if you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell in the area, our team and I and her and us, all of us, would love to be your local real estate resource of choice. So,
and I think we need to say, let us know if you're interested in condos. Let us know if that's something that you would like to see more of, Ben. Do you want more walkability? Like, give us your input on these, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And
if there are anybody out there looking for condos, let us know, because we know they're coming. We don't know anybody that wants a condo.
Yeah.
We've got clients that want townhouses.
I mean, change our mind. You know.
Exactly. Here's the pros and cons of condos in Bend.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear about it.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. And we will see you in 2 weeks for our next live stream. Until then, we'll see you over
2024.
Oh my gosh. Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas, the whole deal. We'll see you guys in a few weeks.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.